inspiration, education, action. This is the Seeds to Success Show with Ben Godinez and Jennifer Barna on Money 105.5.
Welcome to the Seeds to Success Show. I am your host and Insurance 101 guy, Ben Godinez. Thank you so much for joining us. God is good, is he not? Oh, man, and I love this song, too, by Paloma Rush and the PJs. Oh,
it's great.
It's awesome. And I have the privilege to be joined here with the wonderful and lovely Jen Barna in the studio here today. Hello, Jen. How are you?
Hi, Ben. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And you're going to bring some awesome energy today. For those of you guys that don't know Jen Barna, she is a life and business coach, and she's been on the Good Life radio show. She is working with people all across the world, and she's going to give us some wisdom here today as we talk about a burning desire. That is our topic for today's show. So I want to say a little bit more about what the Seeds to Success show is all about. For those of you guys that are joining us here today, you're asking yourself, what is this and what am I going to gain from this show? Well, first of all, Seeds to Success is about inspiration, education, and action. I read the book Think and Grow Rich a couple of years ago, and I was inspired to action. The problem is that once that inspiration kind of dies down, you forget. You go back to your normal mundane life. And I said, why isn't there something that helps you implement what Napoleon Hill was talking about? And so I got a life and business coach, and I went through the program, and my life started changing. And it was amazing to have accountability and have a coach there. So that's why I started Seeds to Success. We are a personal facilitated development group and community, and this show is devoted to educating you, inspiring you, and to give you fuel for your fire. And that's why we're here. So Jen, you're changing lives across the world. We have the opportunity to hear from her every single week on the Seeds to Success show. So Jen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, Ben, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this tremendous and incredible project that you've got going on. I truly believe in it. I truly believe that you're going to inspire people to action, and that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my privilege.
To say I'm a life and business coach is actually easy to classify. It's easy to put in a box. It's easy for people to kind of understand and pass judgment. So what I like to say is I'm a mindset coach. I help people deal with the thoughts that they have, the thoughts that keep them from doing what they want to do and keep them from making the choices to be happier, to do more, to have more, to be more. And so that's why I love to coach.
Okay, that makes sense. If you can't tell, Jen is probably the most easygoing, soothing person you'll ever talk to. She just puts you at ease. So although she will kick your butt into action, I think the coolest thing is that she is relatable to anybody. And that's why I love working with her. So you guys are going to have a privilege to learn from her every single week. But before we get into our topic of burning desire, which is the key to all success, I want to give you guys a little bit of context about who we are, where we came from, and what we do, and how we got into this business. So, Jen, would you like to tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what you're all about?
Sure. Well, I got into coaching because of my own personal transformation. I started this journey, I would say, a little over a decade ago, and I didn't even know I was on it. When I found my mentor a couple years ago, my mentor is Bob Proctor, world-renowned class success thinker. And his teaching just put everything in perspective to me. It helped me put all the pieces of my life together in a very understandable, this is why this happened, this is why you were able to accomplish this, this is why you weren't able to make this work, and it just fit. I understood it, it was easy to understand, and I thought if I could build my life up from the depths of despair that I say that I came from to what it is today, I want to help other people do the same. I truly think that everybody has a seed of success inside of them that's waiting to be birthed.
Amen. That's awesome. So what kind of experience do you have being, a transformational coach or what kind of preempted you to say, I'm going to make this my career? You must have had some type of job before this, right?
just prior to this, I was actually an at-home mom, which I loved for 4 years. And prior to that, I was a state worker.
Okay.
I also dabbled in selling candles and
the party light, right?
online marketing and
MLM.
different affiliate marketing. I was looking for that thing that just ignited my heart, that ignited my passion. And I didn't know what that was. And I was always envious of people who had it. You know, I thought, wow, look at, they just work, they just do it. It's not even work to them. And I wanted to find that. So as I found my own transformation, as I was going through my own learning this, I had the incredible opportunity to say, do you want to be a coach? The Bob Proctor PGI asked me, Proctor Gallagher Institute asked me, are you interested? I said, yeah. Okay. And it changed my life. It truly changed my life.
Wow.
So I actually, when I was going through this transformation, I think I had people believing in me more than I believed in myself. Wow. And so that's what I want to be and do for people right now, is I want to believe in them when they can't see that there's a way out.
Right. Somebody's got to believe in them, right?
Right. Exactly.
Sometimes that's just the catalyst that ignites people. Somebody else believes in you and you go, you know what, you're right. I can do this. Like, what's stopping me?
Exactly.
Right? So kick your butt into action. So you actually drew inspiration from other coaches and Bob Proctor himself and the institution of the Proctor Gallagher Institute to ignite you into inspiring other people.
That's correct.
Okay. I love it.
So I got into their Thinking into Results program. I am a certified facilitator for that program. Okay. It's a 12-session program. Yeah. You are very well aware of it.
I'm a graduate.
Yes, you are.
The TIR program.
And what it really is, it is a personal transformation program that doesn't just deal with your personal life. It doesn't just deal with business life. It is designed to change every part of your life. Because when you start to change your thinking, when you think about something a certain way and you start to look at that something a different way, then the thing that you're looking at is going to change. And so we want people to have expectations of positive outcomes, of positive goals, of a positive way of life. And so it's not just them that changes. What truly is remarkable is that when those people start to change and look at life differently, everything changes in their life. Their work changes, their families change. Everybody is affected by this positive change in this person.
That's right. Like Earl Nightingale says, we become what we think about. In famous Earl Nightingale voice, we become what we think about.
Love his voice.
Right. You got to listen to The Strangest Secret if you haven't listened to it. But yeah, absolutely. So basically feeding them with positivity and teaching them that we become what we think about. So why are you thinking about what could happen wrong, right? Or what are the consequences of pursuing your goal or your dream? Instead, you're having them focus on the positive end result and the positivity that comes with following your dream, right? Not the negative expectations, but the positive expectations.
We're conditioned in life. We're conditioned through our environment. We're conditioned through how we're raised it's like we're downloaded with a program from our parents' thinking, right?
Our paradigms, right?
Yes, those are our habits and beliefs. Right. And when we look at things a certain way, when we think it's hard to make money, when we think it's hard to make a living, when we think that we have to follow a certain pattern or way of life to get from point A to point B, it stifles creativity. It stifles what other opportunities could come along. And so what we want to do is we want to open people's eyes up to say, is this a belief that is true for you? Because if it is, if it's not working for you, let's work on changing that.
That's awesome. All right. Well, quick couple minutes about myself. Just so you know who I am. First of all, I am the Insurance 101 guy. I've coined myself that because, every 2 minutes on TV, what do you see? You see a gecko selling insurance. You see a comedian that looks like a diner waitress selling insurance. Nobody's actually a consultant. They're talking about how much they can save you on your insurance, but are they talking about how good their coverage is or what kind of coverage they offer? No. So I chose in 2009 when I got into insurance as an agent to focus on education because of the lack of education that I had about insurance, I I got screwed on insurance policies, on auto insurance specifically. I was in accidents, didn't know what kind of coverage I had, et cetera. So I have a passion for educating people about insurance. So that is my quote unquote day job, and building my brokerage out. Been doing it now for about 7 years. Previous to that, I was a branch manager for Vector Marketing, managing about 57 sales reps from advertising, interviewing, hiring, training, and developing them through Vector Marketing and Cutco Cutlery. And I majored in film, of all things. So that's why I'm here today, because in studying for film and broadcasting, I wanted to get into the media. So that's a little bit about me. And when we come back, we're going to be diving into a burning desire. Stay with us on the Seeds to Success show.
You're listening to the Seeds to Success show on Money 105.5 and the Money 105.5 mobile app.
Hey, welcome back to the Seeds to Success show. I hope that first segment was inspiring and educational at the same time. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, I am Ben Godinez, your host and Insurance 101 guy with Gateway Insurance Group, and I am privileged to have Jen Barna in the studio again here today joining us.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to dive right into the topic of today, which is burning desire. What does that mean? What does that mean, Jen? What is your definition of having a burning desire? What is that?
What I like to share with people about a burning desire is it comes from within. It's inside of you. And sometimes people don't connect with that. They don't, if you ask them, what is your goal? What's your burning desire? They'll say, I don't know, because they've never given themselves permission to think about it. And so when you connect with that goal, when you fall in love, I like to say when you fall in love with a goal.
That's a good analogy.
Right? You fall in love with it. You don't have to think about it. You're not forced to think about it. You just do. Everywhere you look, everywhere you see the opportunity and potential of what can be that is going to be in association with that goal. So I always like to tell people, fall in love with an idea and you will always find a way to make it happen.
Wow, that's brilliant. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Not a hope, not a wish, but a pulsating desire which transcends everything. It's a quote by Napoleon Hill. So in other words, nothing great is ever accomplished without a burning desire, a white-hot passion. Like you said, love. When you're in love with somebody or something, it drives you, it moves you, your decisions are made towards that end. Chapter 11 of Think and Grow Rich goes more into depth about that if you care to look it up. But turning what you love into, whether it be your occupation or your hobby, making sure that you're satisfied in that. And what we're going to go into in a minute is how do you get to that point of passion, right? So when we were kids growing up, right, some of us had aspirations of becoming a Major League Baseball player. Not talking about myself at all. Some of us wanted to be, a fireman or a police officer or an astronaut or whatever
Soccer
it might
player.
be. Yes, you're right. But it was always something really cool. And then somehow down the line, through the world, through our parents, through our friends, through our teachers, whatever, we ended up somehow ending up like the 90%. Ending up like everybody else. We got our 9 to 5. We went to college like they told us to do. And then we wake up after 20 years and go, what in the world am I doing with my life?
Where am I going?
Right, where am I going? I've got this 9 to 5. Yeah, I clock in, I clock out, I go home, I spend a few minutes with my family, I watch TV, and I go to sleep. Right?
Day in and day out. There's no passion in that. There's no life in that. You're like on automatic pilot.
Right.
And we want to switch people off of that automatic pilot.
Right.
We want to get them thinking about what's next for them.
So an analogy that comes to mind is if money wasn't an issue, if you took money out of the equation, what would you do? If you could just create a life of your dreams, what would it look like? If money wasn't in the economy, if you could go to the store and pick up whatever you wanted and there was no exchange of money, if you could go to a baseball game and not have to worry about how much the tickets cost, or you can go on a vacation, do whatever you want. What if you took money out of life? What would you be doing? After you go and you buy some cool things and you buy material stuff. After that, what do you do? Right. Now,
Well, lots of times people want to believe that there's a different possibility in life, and they feel stuck. They feel like is this all there is? Is this all I've worked for? And they're hungry for more. There are people out there who are hungry for more. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next level. And those are the people that, we want to help inspire and say there is a way. There is a way to get there. And that's what I love about this show, is that in the coming weeks, we're going to be able to do that.
Right. We're actually going to be moving towards that. We want to help impact you and change your life. Your success is in direct proportion to how many people you've impacted. I'll say that again. Your success is in direct proportion to how many people you impact. So I'd like to think about, and this is maybe a little bit morbid, but I like to think about what would be on my tombstone and what would be said at my wake. What would they say? Would they say, Ben, he was a good kid, he had a lot of potential. God, it just hits me in the stomach, right? Potential means that you have unused energy that you just kept to yourself.
And that's like the saying, like, you don't want to go with your song still left in you, when there's still song left to play. And so, success, it's different for everybody.
That's right.
That's the thing. It's not
material wealth.
No. Well, it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Right.
For some people,
For sure.
that's part of the equation. But success is, as I love Earl Nightingale's definition, is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And whatever that worthy ideal is for you is going to be different than what it is for me, what it is for anybody else out there. And so it's somebody doing deliberately what they want to be doing.
That's right. I don't care if you want to be the best housewife or the best
teacher,
teacher, right? As Earl Nightingale says, right? It doesn't matter what your occupation is. You can be the best dang janitor, at the job that you're at.
If that's what you want and love to
right?
do.
Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a sales-related goal. I mean, everybody that's in personal development and motivation, they're mostly salespeople, right? And that's your thing. You read books. Oh, well, you must be in sales, right?
Well, sales is actually in every part of our life.
It is.
Parents sell their kids on their ideals, on their values. Teachers sell kids on the importance of an education. We're trying to convince someone to see it our way.
That's right. That's right. Bill Gates says the definition of a sale is the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another. The definition of a sale is the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another. So if you're enthusiastic about something, like if you go see a good movie, right? Everybody always tells me what movie I should see. And to be honest, I can't remember the last time I went to a movie theater, okay? Maybe all my friends aren't doing a very good job of selling me on that.
Maybe a good restaurant,
But
you're talking about
it's a good restaurant, whatever. If somebody has a good experience about something, or if they're passionate, they believe in it, they're going to transfer that enthusiasm to you. And that's what we're talking about, the enthusiasm.
So what leads to desire then, what leads back to desire then is what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you talking about? What are you reading? Those things, every little part of that information that we're taking in every day is affecting our outlook, is affecting our perception on the life that we're leading. So if you're not feeding your mind, if you're not feeding your body the right foods, you're going to feel like
Garbage.
Yucky, right? And if you're not feeding your mind the right stuff, then your thinking is probably going to be really poor. You're probably going to think the worst about people, think the worst about the situation, when it takes no energy.
That's right.
Except a choice and a decision to think the opposite way.
They say garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you're listening to a garbage song that has nothing empowering about it, then you're not going to be feeding your mind with any positivity. You're left with nothing. But if you listen to a song like the PJ song, the intro, No Pain, No Gain by Paloma Rush, that's a positive song. I love listening to it. It's like my pump-up song right now. And it gets me inspired. It gets me pumped up because there's always a better day. So, yeah, if you listen to Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, on a daily basis and take his 30-day challenge of listening to it day in and day out, you're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel pumped up. You're going to move towards that, whatever your goal or whatever your ambition is, because you're going to write it down after you listen to it. You're going to listen to what you're going to find out what your passion is and your desire, and you're going to follow the instructions, and you'll be moved in that direction. You're going to feel compelled to pursue your desire because you're feeding yourself that information of positivity and not tearing yourself down by listening to the garbage that the media puts out. And I'm not talking necessarily just songs, but the news in general is usually not very positive. It's about 1 to 10 ratio. 10 negative things for one positive thing.
Absolutely. I actually was checking the websites of different news outlets, and you are absolutely right. Everywhere we turn, there's something negative. There's something not, and so we have to be really cognizant, really aware of what it is that we're surrounding ourselves with, because what we're focused on, your focus goes where your energy flows. And if you're focused on what's not right, what won't work, what's wrong in the world, then guess what? Then you're going to you're going to bring more of that into your life.
That's right.
Whereas if you focus on what good, if you find the good in everything, it's, I work with my clients, I tell them what's good in this. Every experience that happens to you happens because, number one, it develops more of who you are,
right.
and because you can deal with it, you're going to get through it. And so if people see the worst in a situation, well, you know what, that's what they're going to keep, that's what's going to keep coming. If they can say, you know what, I'm going to get through this, I'm strong, I can do this, guess what, they're going to get out of it.
That's right. I was watching The Secret last night, and one really good point that was brought up is, if you're, let's say, anti-war, don't go to an anti-war rally. You're going to feed that energy negativity.
Pro-peace, right?
Go pro-peace, right? If you're anti
anything, you're focused on that
ex-politician.
Negative. Yes.
If you're anti-Trump, then be pro his opponent, right? Don't tear down somebody else, because guess what? That's what Trump is using for his campaign. He doesn't care. He's getting more media attention than anybody else.
Negative publicity is publicity.
Yeah. Any publicity is good publicity,
yes,
basically.
Yes.
So you got to feed yourself positivity. And so, I listen to Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, every day. I usually will read a chapter of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, or something that at least gets my mind right, in the right direction. And from that, because I know what my desire, my passion is, which to share with you guys is inspiring people in one way or another. I will be either this radio show host the rest of my life, or I'll be a TV host doing the same thing. But either way, my passion is teaching, educating, and inspiring other people. So everything that I do is in relation to that. So I want to help propel. I want to give fuel to my fire towards that end, which is reading, listening, and being around other positive people. So
we are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. We're the sum total of the people that we surround ourselves around.
Right.
Ramasio Fulcher, who was on the Good Life radio show, said something very cool. He has an acronym for just about everything, but he says the definition of poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly. And
that's really great.
Poor,
wow.
P-O-O-O-R, passing over opportunities repeatedly. If you're not in a personal development group or a mastermind, if you're not reading books, if you're not listening to something positive during your day, well, you're going to be the sum total of your own thoughts. Garbage in, garbage out. So I'd encourage you to get into a personal development group. I'd encourage you to get a life coach. I'd encourage you to start at least thinking and reading and writing down your thoughts about what it is that makes you happy, and more than just happy, but what you have gratitude for, what you're thankful for. When it comes back to that analogy of what would you do without money, more often than not, you're going to come down to what fulfills me. And that usually is not a big boat or the coolest car or the biggest house or the people that you necessarily hang around, but it's usually going to come down to other people. I feel like most people at our core, we want to give back, and that actually we receive the most gratitude for. So
whether or not there's anyone out there who believes what we're saying, at least you can know that we believe what we're saying, and we can hold that belief for you until you believe it yourself.
That's right. Yeah. until you finally convince yourself that that's what it is, because that's what I found is most gratifying. I love cars. I put my car that I wanted up on my vision board going through TIR, and I didn't think it was possible within the next 5 years, but guess what? 6 months later,
you got it.
I bought that car.
Yes, you did.
So we're all passionate about things, but you need to get them down on paper. You need to get a life coach. So stay with us here on the Seeds of Success show. We'll be right back.
This is Sacramento's Money 105.5. Now, more Seeds to Success on Money 105.5.
Welcome back to the Seeds to Success show. Thanks for staying with us here. I am Ben Godinez, your Insurance 101 guy and host of the Seeds to Success show, joined by the lovely Jen Barna.
How are you doing?
Very good. If you're listening to us live on the air right now, make sure that you check out the video. Post it up on YouTube, Facebook, clip of it on Instagram. And next week, I'll have Periscope here. So you can tune in live to Periscope. But either way, you can watch the video. It should be posted up in the next few days. So if you missed anything or you want to get some notes, make sure you follow me at ben.godinez on Instagram. Find me on Facebook, Ben Godinez, Godinez. And find me on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, and you'll see all of the Seeds to Success shows posted on there as we progress. So write that down. All right, we've been talking about burning desire, and we've gotten to the meat and taters. We've got some good stuff out there. People are fired up. They're remembering when they were a kid. Yeah, I wanted to be a baseball player. Yeah, I wanted to start this business. Or, yeah, I was in school and I thought I was going to do this, and now I'm doing something else that I just kind of fell into, right?
Maybe it's art. Maybe piano. Maybe, an explorer. Maybe, people want to get out of the office and become a archaeologist. You never know.
You never know. You never know what people are passionate about. But I think people are thinking about that, and we're leaving them hanging. How do we take that dream or that thought and turn it into a burning desire? How do they actually start implementing that and start pursuing that?
Well, we want to say that it all starts with a goal, with a vision. What do you see for yourself? Who is that person that you want to be? Who is that man or that woman that you see yourself as? What are they doing? What are they saying? Where do they hang out? Who do they talk to?
Right.
What car do they drive? Where do they live? There's all these different questions of where you see yourself going. And when we focus on a goal, when we focus on, say, okay, 10 years ago, I could not even imagine that I'd be sitting here with you on the radio.
Sure.
Having a best-selling, being co-author of a best-selling book recently.
Yes, and congrats on the release on that. I haven't got my
you.
copy. It's the weirdest thing. I was looking for a copy signed by you, and I still haven't got a copy of it, Jen.
Failure is Never Final is on its way to you.
Okay, good.
Thank you. There's so many things that when we open ourselves up to the possibility of how can we make our life better? What things do we start off with? Well, I started off with, I wanted to go back to school. I thought in my head I had to go back to school. I was a single mom. I didn't know what to do. I was working full time, 2 little kids. I put myself back through school. Okay, what's the next step? Next step is a job. Well, I wanted to find my passion. So through it all, we have our ups and downs and setbacks, and we may take a wrong turn, but the key is action.
Right.
Okay, so once you got your vision, you see it, and then you start to take steps to action. How can I bring that into form?
What's the first step? What do you think that they should do the first step after they got the vision?
I think according to Think and Grow Rich, just is get a clear and defined goal of what it is you really want.
So should they write that down?
Write it down. Absolutely.
Okay.
When you write things down, you have power. There is power in the pen.
I noticed that all of your notes here on the table are all handwritten. I did mine on my phone, which I don't even know
There's
what's on here
scientific
anymore, but
evidence that says that when you actually write things out with your hand, it activates a specific part of the brain that engages. And even children are getting, when they're getting away from writing in school, I know that there's an association out there that's wanting kids to write more because it engages that part of the brain, that creativity center. And so we need to write out that goal and then, put it up somewhere. Put the specific idea up on a goal card. Keep it with you. Cut out pictures that remind you of it.
keep it in front of you all day.
Keep it in front of you. Talk about it. Make a recording of yourself, of what you see your life being. Listen to that all the time. Tell yourself that you're working towards this, that it's not something that's unattainable, but something that you're always working towards.
We did that in the Seeds to Success group just a few weeks ago, where we actually wrote out what our life looked like in 5 years from now. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was so powerful because through that exercise, right? And I started just writing like, I'm on a private jet. I don't know how I got here yet. And anyway, I started out like that. And as the story developed, I started telling my own self what I actually wanted to do and how I got there. And through that exercise, I determined that I want to be a talk show host. One day, I want to have my own broadcast on TV, like the Ellen Show or whatever on Oprah, like a daytime or whatever, maybe a night show just like this, talking about celebrities and business owners, how they got to the level of their success and what it took. And I never knew that I wanted to do that. Or at least I did when I was in college. I thought that I would pursue film and broadcasting, but I didn't know to what capacity. I just thought I wanted to make short films. But I was literally talking to myself as I wrote it out. So there is power in writing out your goals and just writing for 2 minutes, 5 minutes before you start your day. Just getting out there and writing it out on paper.
It makes it clear.
Yes.
Gets it clear, and you start to see this vision of yourself. And what stops most people is that they say, I don't know how that's going to happen. And what I share with clients is we don't have to know the how. We got to just trust that it's going to work out for us. Trust that in the decisions that we make, in the action we take, no matter what, as long as we hold that goal before us, that it will work out. Now, it may not be in the path and the direction in that we think it's going to work, and it may not be that person, but when you're open to the possibilities of things going your way, it's not what you do but how you do it, the attitude that you take in the action, the faith that you have in the action that you take. You don't want to have that worry or that doubt enter your mind, because then that blocks off the creativity, that it blocks off the opportunities that are always present around us that we just don't see.
That's right.
And so when we believe that something's going to work out in our favor, when we believe, you never know when that next person you're going to meet, when the next phone call is going to be, that next email, that chance meeting that you didn't really want to attend and you attended, and all of a sudden you made a great contact that led you to the next step. You never know when that's going to be. And so you've got to have faith that it's going to work out. You've got to take action in all of that. And that's what's going to keep moving us forward. And that's what brought me here to you. A year ago, I didn't see this happening.
That's
but
right.
You're right.
I knew you a year ago.
Yes.
And this wasn't a topic of conversation.
Not at all. And here we are, and it's a wonderful journey, and I know it's going to be even a great ride, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
That's right. You don't even know that you don't even know. That's one thing that I learned while I was at Vector Marketing, which you don't even know what the possibilities are right now. So you can write out as much as you can fathom, but you know what? You've got to be open to the unknown. You've got to be open to the possibilities that could come into your lap. I'm gonna speak it into reality right now. Soon enough, I want to have G-Eazy on this show talking about his success. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from Castro Valley, and a lot of what he talks about in his songs and in his interviews, very similar to mine. And I think that it's possible to get G-Eazy on the show to talk about his struggles and how he overcame them. And to coincide with that, BB Rexa, who's on the chorus of Me, Myself, and I, for those of you guys that don't know who G-Eazy is, look up Me, Myself, and I. It's one of my favorite songs. It's my theme song right now. I heard her story recently, and she's from the Bronx, and she dropped out of school at 15 to pursue her music career, and it's taken her 10 years to get to the point where she's at right now, and she just hit it big. I want to hear that story. She didn't think that it was possible, right, to be interviewed on BET or MTV and to hit this level of success. She just was pursuing her passion. She was like, whatever it takes, I'm just going to keep doing this. And that's what we're talking about, is a burning desire, is you follow what you love. And like I said, success does not have anything to do with a definition of how much money you have or how many things you have. Although those things come as a byproduct of success, you need to pursue something bigger than that. Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill both repeatedly say that success is not defined by how much money you have. The money comes after success. So when you see somebody and you see, wow, they have so many things and so much money and all that, they must be successful. No, they've been successful for years before that, and then the money came.
Yeah, there's a story that I'm reminded of a millionaire that was once interviewed, and the reporter asked him, did you ever think that you would be a millionaire sleeping on a park bench?
Wow.
And he said, you know what, I was a millionaire sleeping on a park bench in my mind.
Right.
And it is our mindset. It is what we think of ourselves. It's what we think is possible. And that's what we want. I want to open people up and not shut the door on your potential. Don't shut that door. Right. You have a seed of greatness in you, and you got to water it every day. This is a consistent, don't let the outside circumstances. And George Bernard Shaw, there's a quote by him, people are always blaming the circumstances for where they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people that get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them.
That's right.
It's powerful.
Circumstances do not make the man.
No, and neither does, it doesn't matter what the outside world, doesn't matter what the bank statement says. If you believe you're rich, you're going to be rich, and you're going to, in that mindset, that thinking is going to set you in the direction of things coming to you to fulfill that.
You know how I can tell that you've been listening to The Strangest Secret? Because you're repeating a lot of what's in that audio. So again, you put good stuff in, good stuff comes out. I love it. And that's who we become. One thing that I'll leave you with before we go to commercial break is we are created by the Creator to create. Okay? We are created. This is not an accident. There's a reason why we're so aware and we have so much unlimited potential. We are created by the Creator to create. God did not put us on this earth to clock in, clock out, watch, the Kardashians and go to sleep. Okay? We are created for more than that. So if you want to be something bigger than where you are right now, if you want to actually accomplish something gratifying in your life, you need to call Jen Barna, and you need to stay tuned to Seeds to Success. Stay with us on the Seeds to Success show.
This is Sacramento's Money 105.5. Join the journey. This is the Seeds to Success show on Money 105.5.
Hey, welcome back to the Seeds to Success show. I hope you guys are along for the ride and having a good time. We have taken you on a little bit of a roller coaster here. We're talking about burning desire here with Jen Barna. And thanks again so much for your wisdom and being here today, Jen.
Thank you for having me. I'm totally enjoying this.
This is awesome. In case you missed the first half of the show, Jen will be with us for 2 minutes at least every single show to insert inspiration, education, and action into your lives. So make sure you tune in on 105.5 obviously on FM, but also on the mobile app for those of you guys who are listening on FM right now. Mobile app and on money1055.biz. You can listen live from the website as well.
No excuses not to get that dose of inspiration.
We live in the 21st century. FM is not the only way to listen to radio nowadays. iHeartRadio app, and then you'll be able to catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter will have the links. So follow me, Ben Godinez, on Facebook, YouTube, or you can just Google Insurance 101 guy and you will find me one way or another. So in that light, I will give you a Insurance 101 segment every single week. That is part of my passion and educating people, because guess what? Whatever the industry is doing, do the exact opposite and you'll probably be successful. That's my philosophy. If you see the status quo, don't do the same thing. Do something different. That's how you'll be recognized. So I found that in insurance in 2009 when the economy was on a downturn and everybody was saying they're broke, bad time to get into sales. And I said, well, I think that means that people are looking to save money. If they're losing their houses, that's the reason that they're going to call me. Instead of going, oh, this is a bad time, the market's down, you're not going to be successful, blah, blah, blah. So I said, what's going to be different then? I'm going to educate them and I'm going to save them money. So your Insurance 101 segment today, don't tune off. This is actually going to be good stuff. Do you know what liability coverage actually means? Most people don't have any idea. When I say, I get this every single day, when I talk to somebody and I say what kind of coverage they have, their answer 100% of the time is either I have full coverage or I have liability. That's not my question. My question is, what are your liability limits? What are you actually covered for? I don't know. I have no clue. Full coverage doesn't mean anything. Full coverage means the value of your car. So what? $20,000 if you kill somebody in an accident. Heaven forbid you actually, make somebody permanently disabled. Your state minimum liability is not going to do the job. Geico, Progressive, sorry. But I'm going to say it. This is, again, my passion. Most people have state minimum or lower limits than what they actually need. So here's what liability covers. You ready? First thing, it covers their medical expenses. All right. So liability covers other people If you're at fault for their medical expenses, which is their bodily injury, their health insurance bills, when they go to the hospital, think about it. If you're in an accident and they need to get to the hospital, they're probably going to take an ambulance. There's $3,000. And I know because I've been in an ambulance against my will, because I got hit in the back of the head with a softball at a softball game, sliding into third. It's okay to laugh. That's okay, Jen. So there's $3,000. Then the CAT scans, MRIs, and X-rays.
It adds up.
Yep. And by the time they tell you that you're okay and you're going to go home, your health insurance bill is going to be about $15,000. For them to say, just don't go to, don't play softball for a week or don't get in an accident, right? That's if they're okay. So if they're actually injured, your state minimum liability is going to go out the door. So, and yeah, of course, all of you people listening are saying, well, I have a crystal ball and I'm never going to get in an accident. I'm responsible. I've never been in an accident, or I was young and dumb and it's never going to happen again. I trust that you know the future and that's all good and well. The problem with that theory is that whatever you insure other people for on liability, you are now insured for the same limit if you're hit by another irresponsible person that has state minimum liability or no insurance at all. So your uninsured motorist limit protects you for your bodily injury as well. Second thing that it covers is your physical therapy. I lost my train of thought for a second. Your physical therapy and your ongoing treatment. So if somebody's actually injured, okay, they're not going to work the next day. So you're responsible for the loss of wages. Heaven forbid you hit a neurosurgeon that makes $775,000 a year and they're out of work for a month. You're screwed. And then they're going to need physical therapy, or they're going to need chiropractic or massage therapy most often. All right. I don't care if you have state minimum and you're a wealthy business owner. You're not going to want to front the bill for a couple $100,000 in place of spending an extra $5 a month on raising your liability limits. Now, the ironic thing is that because these big companies do such a great job of advertising, they think that they're getting the best deal by going to, the 1-800 number, when in actuality, every day I'm able to give people more coverage for either the same price or better for 10 times the coverage. So make sure that your liability limits are high enough to protect your assets. That's the bottom line. So again, they're broken into 3 categories: per person, per occurrence, and property damage. And state minimum is $5,000. So if you had a bumper in my Mercedes, you're screwed. All right?
I love your enthusiasm,
That's not to be
Ben.
pretentious, but I'm just saying the average car on the road is about $25,000. So if you have state minimum and you get in an accident, good luck. You will be hearing from an attorney. All right, that's your Insurance 101 Guy segment. Follow me on social media, Insurance 101 Guy, and you'll find me. Let's talk more about burning desire, because I think people are fired up, but we left them hanging with, okay, now what? All right. I want to talk about one thing, though, real quick. Getting into the space, because they're not going to hear from us for a week on this show. So what do they do between now and then? We mentioned write it down. We talked about a vision board. But I want to talk about self-meditation. And I'm not talking about the, I'm going to dangle a clock in front of you and get you into hypnosis or whatever, which, by the way, I completely believe in hypnosis and it actually works. Corinne, who made my beautiful haircut today at Detail Salon on Folsom and N, she went to go see my hypnotherapist, and she was able to realize something that she never knew in her life, and it absolutely works. But I'm talking about a state of prayer, a state of relaxation, a state of gratitude. Jen, talk to me a little bit for like just 1 minute or 2 minutes about how they can visualize where they want to be. How do you get yourself into that state where you can just concentrate?
Breathing is number one. Taking a breath. Most people say, I've never meditated before. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. Really, you just need a few minutes. You can start with as little as 3 minutes, right? You find a quiet space, quiet room, turn off your phone, turn off your any distractions, close your eyes and take a breath. And if you follow your breathing, breathe in and breathe out.
My heart rate just slowed down by about 20 beats
right?
a minute.
And you do it again. Breathe in. Breathe out. And there is power in that. You start to connect with, you get out of your mind and into your body, and you start to really feel that. It brings you into the present. It brings you into the now. And it calms you down. It slows you down. It literally will lower your blood pressure. It'll calm your mind. And you just take a few minutes and do that, and you connect. And if your mind is just racing, you kind of just let it. You don't need to get down on yourself that it can't stop. You just let the ideas come and go. You let it. You don't try to control it. You just let it flow in and out. And really, that's what meditation. That's the very basic of what meditation can be. It just slows you down, brings you back into the now. Lots of people were either living in the past. They're either living in the past on where they came from, what they've done, or what's happened to them, or they're living in the future, what is yet to come. And they create these stories and these expectations, and to bring it back to the now. Like, there is really never any problem in the now. It right. is we're okay, we're safe, we're fed, we're happy. All the problems in our life, they are created normally with our thinking.
Right.
And so when that's the whole mindset, is we want people to think and not have just mental activity. Most of the time people go through their whole day not thinking, just with the mental activity. They have their lists in their head of what they need
right.
to do, their appointments. They have all these things that are just, I'm busy. Well, if you thinking back into your goal, back into your desire, what do I want? Where am I going? How do I get there? You bring it back into you and go, okay, what is it in this moment that I can do right now to move myself forward?
You ever get to the office and you go, wait a minute, I don't even remember the drive here?
Yeah.
Right? That's
yeah.
what we're talking about. You're just on autopilot. So you need to get yourself intentionally into that state. And I want to leave you with this saying that the biggest killer of your success is telling yourself you're too busy. It's telling yourself you're too busy to take 2 minutes out of your day and focus on what you want and what your desires are and how you're going to get there. Don't ever tell yourself you're too busy. Eliminate that from your vocabulary. Make time for what's important in your life.
It's your life.
It's kind of a big deal.
Right?
We kind of only get one.
Exactly.
So anyway, thank you guys for joining us on the Seeds to Success show. I hope you guys got something valuable. Every week we're going to be covering another topic like persistence, overcoming challenges, faith, desire. We've got so much good stuff for you. Tune in next week. We're going to have some fantastic people on the show. And make sure that you look up Jen Barna here on social media. Find her on the Seeds to Success page. And we will see you here next week on the Seeds to Success show. Have a great week.